Hello, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar. Hello also to the YTPC. I'm dragging my feet again doing the pipe video. I know. Because I'm reading faster than my urge for smoking pipes is. So anyway, latest book report is The Future of Us by Jay Asher and Carolyn Mackler. Apparently, Jay Asher once wrote 13 Reasons Why, which became I guess a mini series on Netflix. It had to do with a teenager committing suicide, and of course they left messages all around the school giving the 13 reasons why they ended their own life. I wanted to see it. I might end up reading the book instead. All right. The book is called The Future of Us, and I read this book as a palate cleanser. Am I recording? Yes, I am. All right. I was going to say I'm not doing this for nothing, am I? I read this as a palate cleanser after Frankenstein because Frankenstein is pretty dense. So this was, I kind of wanted something teen-centric and also had to do with time travel, and I'm a time travel fanatic. So I chose The Future of Us. It's one of the books I found at Savers, and I figured it was light enough and quick enough where I could make relatively short work of it. And the basic concept is this: Emma and Josh, 6 months previous. Josh mistook Emma's signals and made a move on her to go beyond friendship into something more, and she got all freaked out by it. So they've kind of been awkward ever since. And her dad sends her a new computer. So what she does is Josh basically brings over an AOL. This takes place in the mid-90s. Brings her an AOL CD-ROM to help get you on the internet. Does everybody remember those days when the AOL CD-ROM was your gateway to the internet? It was my gateway to the internet. It made it easy for me to understand the whole concept of it. So it gets props for that. So she puts on the computer and loads it up, and all of a sudden she finds out that she discovers something called Facebook, which is not going to be invented for at least another 10 years. And she's seeing posts from 15 years in the future. And it goes like this. Both she and Josh are like checking their status updates in the future. And every time they change something in the present, their future changes too. And you kind of know how this is going to end up, but it's done very, very well as the characters kind of figure out what they want or don't want, as they go after people that they think will be perfect for them, and it doesn't work out. They gradually find out without having to actually get married to these people and live several years with them and have tragic relationships with them. They find out that they discover what they want in the present, and in a way, knowing your own future or potential futures was driving them crazy. It was becoming an obsession with them. And Emma was like seeing how like this one particular husband was cheating on her, or possibly, so she basically made sure that wouldn't happen, etc. So she basically kept trying to improve her life in the future by doing certain things or not doing certain things in the present. Same with Josh, except he seemed like he was going to be dating super hot popular girl, and then of course he finds out that that's not what he really wants. We all know where this is going, don't we? Emma and Josh will eventually get together, but not until the future almost drives them apart. And it's very, very teenagery, raging hormones, people thinking they know what they want, fitting in, the whole thing. It takes place in the 90s, so they drop a lot of pop culture references. They drop a lot of pop culture references for the time period, like Emma watches Wayne's World, a movie that she hates, in order to impress this jock guy that she wants to go out with. Dave Matthews Band, CDs, the whole thing. It's I was convinced that this was taking place in the 90s. And I really enjoyed this book. I made it a point to finish it today because I want to move on to another book. I'm not sure which. I don't do TBR lists or anything like that, just because I don't like thinking that far ahead when it comes to reading. But yeah, I would if you want like a teen-centric relationship story with a dollop of science fiction in it, The Future of Us by Jay Asher and Carolyn Mackler would be the thing for you. I'm not sure if I'll keep this book. I have a time travel shelf in the zero room, which looks like a complete mess right now. The top shelf has my time travel shelf, like all of my anthologies, books about Quantum Leap, novelizations about Quantum Leap. I'd say Back to the Future, but Back to the Future has its own shrine shelf right over here. That was a very formative movie for me. Um, this book also reminded me of two other things that were similar in nature. One of which was The Butterfly Effect, that starred Ashton Kutcher. Um, it was considerably darker in the sense that this guy inherits his father's ability to psychically travel in time, and every time he tries to change his past to improve his future, he never gets it quite right. Sometime in one timeline, he ends up like being, because of an accident that he was part of in the past, he ends up being like in a wheelchair with no arms. Every time in another timeline, his girlfriend at the time becomes like a prostitute and a drug addict to begin as on top of that. So everything he tries to do just doesn't quite end up right, until he comes to a decision at the movie's end. It's a dark ending. The theatrical cut was dark enough as it was, but the director's cut is even more dark. I would see it because it's very, very cool. It shows you all these different pivot points where someone's future could potentially change, and in that way reminded me of the future of us. Also, there's a book called The Time Traveler's Almanac that I just read a couple years ago. It also reminded me of a story called Red Letter Day by Christine Catherine Rush. And in this story, time travel is an accepted thing. And on Red Letter Day, what happens is you're in high school. Red Letter Day, they're all expecting letters from their future selves to be dropped off and basically guide them towards the future. And the main character of the story doesn't get a letter. So of course she's driving herself crazy. Am I alive in the future? Did I die in the future? Did I not bother to send a letter? Why didn't I? As you can see, worrying about a possible unformed future was driving them crazy in the present. So yeah, I would highly recommend seeing either Butterfly Effect or getting a hold of the Time Traveler's Almanac, which is cool because it's like they have all the stories are divided into genres like mazes and traps and communiques, paradoxes, that kind of thing. But yeah, Red Letter Day, that would have driven me crazy if like everyone's expecting to get a letter from their future selves, and 75% of the students do, but the other 25% don't. So it's even worse than not knowing the future, because now it's like, am I even alive then? That kind of thing. So yeah, very, very cool book. I really enjoyed it. Don't know if I'll keep it, put it on the time travel shelf. Got a cool cover anyway. But I do want to say this. Actually today I was coming home from visiting my sister, and I decided to finally renew my library card at the Manchester City West Library on the west side. I used to spend a lot of time there as a kid in junior high, and swore for the first time there. Got kicked out because of it too. Not my proudest moment, but definitely a corner was turned. But yeah, I went in there, took 5 minutes, paid $5, and now I have an up-to-date library card for the next 2 years. So not that I need to be borrowing books because I'm up to my eyeballs in books, but hey, maybe I can read a book instead of like getting a $500 Amazon bill, that kind of thing. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. This is the Gentleman Scholar, signing out.